Hi everybody, welcome again to Nierychlo Online. Today I want to share with you the meaning behind another wine term. The word is terroir. Now, terroir is a very commonly used wine term. It's originally a French word, meaning, or loosely translated to, sense of place. It's more or less a descriptor of the different aspects that different parts of the environment where you're growing your grapes introduce different characters into the final product of wine. A really good way to describe terroir, and one of the major factors in terroir, is the dirt. Another word people use for terroir. So I've got with me a bunch of dirt. And again, that's another word. If somebody asks you what's terroir, you could say sense of place. Another good word to say is dirt. Now, when they go ahead and plant grapes, they do lots of research into the soil they're planting in it. And different parts of the world all have different things and different characters within the dirt. In my topsoil I've found today, you may find things like, what do we got here? Some limestone, something like that. Limestone is a great attribute to have in the ground and in the earth for growing wine. Another thing that's great to find for growing wine, what's this? Granite. Granite's another great character to have in the ground for growing wine. As well, what else do we have in here? Hey, there's something. I've got some lava rock. There's just so many interesting different things to be found in the ground. Now, all of these different things will impart different characters into the wine. Now that my hands are all dirty, to give you a better idea of this, I've just taken a sample from a nearby field. I'll come up close to show you. See if you can see this. In my container filled with water here, as it's settled out, let's see the best angle, you can see on top the silty layer. Things like that. This is just local dirt from this area. You can see the silty layer. Then below it, you can see more of the hard packed sand, things like that. And if you look at the bottom, you can really see the clay layer. This is not the best environment for growing vines in, but it gives you a really good idea of the different levels and sections you can find in the earth and what they're looking for when they plant their grapes. Again, things like limestone, granite, sand, they're all great things for growing grapes, and also great things that create drainage, things like that the vines really need. Other things that are part of the word terroir, again, sense of place or dirt, other factors that go into imparting character to the wine, is the direction of the sun on the vineyard, the shadows from trees around the vineyard, how close or how far are the vines from a body of water. I mean, you can have a vineyard that's however many acres big, and different parts of that vineyard will impart different characters into each individual grape or into each individual wine. Now, other things that go into terroir is small factors like the winemaking techniques, things like that of the certain area of the world, say France, Germany, Spain, what have you. All of these contribute to the final product. Now, terroir, again, is a huge word based on what creates differences between different vintages. That's why people talk about vintages of wine, why they're so different. One season may be a really rainy season, one season may be a really hot season. The soil may change slightly. The slope of the land is another huge contributing factor to the wine. How well does the slope drain on a rainy day? How cold does it get? How much does wind swirl around that area, that valley, what have you? These are all contributing factors as to what is terroir. So again, loosely translated, terroir just means sense of place. If someone asks me what it means, I like to just say dirt. It's a good way to sum it up. To help me describe this today, I've brought with me a wine from Spain. This is the glass as well, it tends to help, so if I can avoid all my dirt. The 2005 Castillo de Almanza, it's their Reserva. So you can see the bottle here. Now, the Reserva from this particular company is made from Tempranillo, Monastrell, and Grenache grapes. These are all grapes that give you a really good sense of terroir. Again, from Spain, we're going to have some different flavor profiles than we would from other places. Just get it in my glass here. So you can see the bottle inside. Can't forget my spit bucket. Now on the nose of this wine, the first thing that just leaps out at me, and this would be a good wine for you to learn this characteristic actually, is a bright, bright sense of black cherry. That's pretty much what the nose entails, just a lot of black cherry. Another characteristic I quite like off the nose of this wine is a little bit of barnyard, and barnyard's another descriptor, especially old world wineries, old world areas like Spain, France, Italy, things like that. It's quite a common factor to smell barnyard. Now barnyard smells like you're walking up to a barnyard. You get the manure smells, the earthy smells, the smells of the pasture and the animals walking around. Some guys will even take it as far to say you smell the poop. It's a good way of putting it. Manure is a little bit more of a clean way of putting it. Oh, but this just jumps out, bright black cherries. And barnyard, and maybe a little bit of a pepperiness. And also some meatiness on the nose as well. I'd almost say some gaminess, like gamey. When I say gamey, you mean the meat that you'd hunt, deer, things like that. On the palate of this wine, it's got nice, firm, balanced structure. The tannins, they're a little bit tight still. This could use a little bit more time in the bottle. They're quite attractive though. The tannins have a lot of nice flavor to them. On the palate I get a lot of some of that pepperiness I mentioned on the nose. A fair amount of black currant or cassis. I really like the nose of this wine. Spanish wine tends to have a very interesting nose. This is a well-made wine, a well-balanced wine. If you can see the color of it, it's a really nice, deep black cherry skin color, for another term for it, or a purple ruby red, I would call it. I quite like this. This one could stand some more time to age a little bit. It's an 05, that, or just decant it really well and you enjoy it. One reason this wine really stood out to me, this bottle, and we're in Canada, like I said, is $13. Old world wines, Spain, things like that, their prices are really dropping. For $13, you really can't complain. I would go ahead and give this wine probably 88 points. For a $13 wine, that's a really good value. I would go out and hunt this one down if you can. I just purchased it at the local liquor store. Wasn't looking too hard for it. But Reservas from Spain can be really interesting. Anyway, I hope you've learned what terroir is. You know it's dirt. Good way to explain it. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Comment below, and we'll see you next time.